You're taller than I am right now. Yeah. All right, so in the last video we talked about adding rules and structure and discipline to the dog's life. And when I say discipline, I'm not talking about punishment. I mean structure. And so dogs do much better, hey Sylvester, when they feel like other people are in charge. You know, like when you're a child, you know, you get somebody, you know, your mom bounces a check. You don't call and try to take care of that for your mom. You get on the, hey mom, there's a guy on the phone. And mom handles that as the authority figure. All right, so I consider petting a dog our way of paying the dog. So right now I'm paying him. I'm just trying to do a little scratchy for the areas that you're trying to scratch at, buddy. But if in the last video we talked a little bit about how Sylvester will come and nudge you with his nose. Do you ever paw at you? I'm guessing you probably don't allow that, so you just make just the stretching or scratching. So, or nudging, excuse me. So every time he nudges us, he's telling us what to do. So instead of complying, what I like to do is tell the dog, so there we go, sit. 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 I like to pet a dog under its chin because when a dog is proud about himself, his nose is parallel to the ground or tilted upward. So I want to facilitate that body mechanic by creating this. So number one, here we go. How often when you're petting him does he do this?
That he does a lot.
Okay, so this is a control issue. So immediately stop petting him when he does that. If you continue scratching, he's basically telling me what to do. So if I go like this, there we go. And as soon as the paw, don't wait for it to get here. As soon as you see it leaving the ground, you know it's coming up here. Stop, pull away. All right, so whenever he nudges at us, instead of petting him, we're going to give him a counter order and ask him to SIT. Sit. I like to cup my hand like this because from his perspective, it looks like I'm holding something in my hand if I have it cupped and my fingers up. So when he asks us to do something, we're going to give him a counter order, sit, come, or lie down. Now, if he's nudging you, he's probably already there. But asking him to sit and lie down, those are more subordinate body postures, so that helps him assume more of a follower mindset. Now, after a while, what's going to happen is he's going to come and start sitting in front of you saying, look, I'm sitting. Shouldn't you be petting me? And the answer is yes, at least whenever possible. Now, if you're eating or something, you don't have to pet him at that point. But we do want, because now he's starting to engage in what we call desired behaviors. So now he's coming and sitting, doing something for you. One of the trick questions I ask my clients is, what could your dogs do to make you happy? I usually get a long list of things they don't want. Stop barking, stop chewing, stop doing this, stop doing that. But those are things we asking them not to do. So if you can't tell me what your dogs can do to make you happy, I promise you your dogs don't know. So then they start associating as a dog would. Well, maybe I will bring them, a stick. Maybe I'll, do things that another dog would appreciate as opposed to things we appreciate. So petting with a purpose will eventually, and I would do this with all three of your dogs, will result in the dog starting to come in. It introduces the concept, if I want the human's attention, I have to earn it. Asking them to sit and lie down is not asking a lot. So after a while, you'll get in the habit of doing it. And again, I use my hand. If the dog's nose is here, I kind of just go over their snout. Don't go too big, too high. And as their dog's anatomy, if you go have their head track up there, puts their butt on the ground. Then start reaching over and scratching under their chin. Now, I can do this, and I can do it with the rocking motion without interrupting my conversation with the human. So you can have two conversations simultaneously. After a while, you won't even think about it. You'll just do it without thinking. And every time you do it, that's a mini dog behavior training session that you engage in by petting your dog, and you're not spending any time or any effort doing it. It'll take you about a week to 10 days before you guys get in the habit of doing it. So what happens if you come in and you see him petting one of the dogs and the dog's not sitting, even if it is sitting, I would just say, I usually recommend the word paycheck. So you say paycheck and you're like, sit. As soon as the dog sits, then you start petting. Now, if we do this consistently, if you argue, and I asked him to sit before he came in the room, just didn't see it, now the dog knows there's some dissension. Dogs want to be with us, and if we're just on the same page, your paycheck, you stop and ask the dog to sit again, the dogs will just start doing it, just seeing that they're on the outside. This will help them sit faster and quicker, which will help you on walks and other situations. I kind of Mr. Miyagi things. One thing leads to another. Petting with a purpose. Oh, one other thing. When you ask your dog to sit, I say the word sit. That's all. Not good sit, not the name, just the word sit and nothing else within 3 seconds of them sitting down. I'll get to your question in a second. This is going to be a long video, so I'm going to do it off camera. And then we want to make sure that we assign the command word. So when he lays down, my word for this is crash, but whatever the word is, as soon as the dog lays down, we reach over within 3 seconds, pet him, and say crash. So at first we're going to ask them to do it. After a while, they're going to do it on their own, and then we reward them and say the command word. Now, if you do want to talk to your dog after that, you're like, can you believe that the 4 or 5 was, Jesus, that was way worse than ever. After you ask them to sit, then you can talk and vent to them for an hour and a half if you want. But while you're doing the command words, we want to do just the command word and nothing else. No adjectives, sit, down, stay, whatever it is. If you guys get in a habit of doing this, petting with a purpose, it is probably the thing. You mentioned you do negotiations. You'll have the best return on your investment of other thing that you can ever do with your dog, because you'll do a little training session with your dog every time you do this, and you're going to do it hundreds of thousands of times over the dog's lifetime. So that's a quick little summation, probably not too quick, of petting with a purpose.